The human experience is a fragile one. What I am finding out, me personally, is that the challenge that humans have, if one would consider the language of an enemy, is that he or she is unable to manage and control their animal instinct. And it is shared about a beast in human form. In ancient Kemet, they have the statue of I think it's a lion, or the beast is at the bottom, and the human figure is at the top. Yet unable to control one's animal instinct, rely on instinct rather than intellect. And doing so, the animal instinct becomes uncontrollable, unmanageable. And it seems to want to dominate the intellect. The logic wants to dominate the emotion, and the emotion wants to dominate logic, and the logic wants to dominate the emotion. The instinct wants to dominate the intellect, and the intellect wants to dominate the instinct. There are two. The key is to have the balance. Yet, if a society or a culture or what have you don't know what to use, with sensationalism or media or what have you, the arts or whatever, I don't know what to use, continue to appeal to one's base desires, and therefore you create a lot of challenges when it comes to illness. Don't necessarily want to say mental illness. That's not my forte. I would say social. Yes, and in producing that, I've come to conclude that the illness negotiate, or the sickness negotiate with the illness, or the illness negotiate with the sickness of the environment, and that becomes a pathological disease, and it's put people chemically unbalanced and not at ease. I always use this saying that Chinka Diop said, an African scholar who spoke French. But he said that, I'm not saying that in a condescending way, but I'm talking about I just further elaborate on the scholar of Chinka Diop. He says, once you throw off the ecology of the environment, one's intellectual aptitude for learning becomes difficult. And I realized that the body itself is a chemical. If you look at your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere, look at receptors. Receptors is something associated with communication. The homeostasis talks about the balance. And some say that people who are in a particular field talks about that the brain is not fully developed until the age of 25, and you see if something comes interrupt that natural development of the brain, it creates problems and concerns. It's trying to get back to find the balance. And if you try to compensate for that, then there's much to be said when it comes to the human experience. And there is what they call Eastern philosophy, that the source of all conflict is attachment. And just processing thoughts and experiences, study and observation, because I realize the best project one can work on is him or herself. Yes. And yeah, just do our best to realize, man, that we must have the balance. And people from the past, or humans from the past, or cultures from the past, knew, say, some would say yin and yang, the jihad, the struggle, and trying not to be as much as one can to be offensive, man. To be disrespectful. To this plane of existence, and not to be disrespectful one to another. And tapping into our natural ability, our natural resources to connect when it comes to our common humanity. In closing, if you ever look at a graphic of a map, and you see how things are connected on the map, and wherever there are lakes or water or just geographical landmass, and you see things that look like veins, you know. Just look at the human body, man. We're all connected, brother. Sister. We're all connected as a humanity to this farmland. And you just look at the swirls of the brain, and you look at the universe. I mean, you know, it's amazing. It's just the intentions in which a person going about using the thing, whether it be his intellect, whether it be his emotion, whether it be his hands, his eyes, or whatever it may be. That's the problem. You know, we humans want to dominate and control. The only thing that one should be able to do his or her best is to manage his feelings and emotions in the best of ways. Not to mention his intellect, that we don't continue to or fall victim of misusing and abusing one another, or abusing that which has been given to us. Primarily our ability to think, our ability to reason one with another. Talk to you in the best of ways.